Hey, welcome to ELP. I am John Nelson, and this is your introduction to CARS, or Controlled Articular Rotations. So, CARS is a part of the FRC program. FRC, Functional Range Conditioning, was designed by a doctor up in Canada, Dr. Andrea Spina, and it is a joint mobility and joint control-based program. Wrong. I don't know why I'm struggling with this so much. Hey, welcome to ELP. I am John Nelson, and this is your introduction to CARS. So CARS stands for Controlled Articular Rotations and is part of the FRC program. FRC was popularized and designed by Dr. Andrea Spina out of Canada. We have been in the FRC program for probably about 8 years or so. We were certified in FRC a while back, and then continued our education. We're actually FRA certified, so that's Functional Range Assessment certified. So we're actually able to take a look at the joints in an assessment process from a very detailed perspective and implement that into our athletes and clients' workouts. We've also completed the Kinstretch course as well, which is learning how to take the concepts of FRC and really implement them in a group setting. So today's video is your introduction to CARS and how we use them at ELP. So if you are a ELP client and athlete, this is how you are going to start to incorporate them into your program. And if you are not an ELP client and athlete, hopefully this video and the following videos will give you a little bit of information on how to properly do them and incorporate them. And if you have questions, reach out to us. Just because you're not a client here doesn't mean we can't help you. There's a lot of great information out there. There's thousands of videos on how to do CARS and Pails rails and all that. A lot of good info. This is just how we implement it here. So a couple things you need to know about CARS, kind of some precautions and also why we do them, okay? So let's go over why we do them, all right? So we do them for a couple different reasons. Really, one of the main reasons that we like to do CARS is to try to just wake the joints up, okay? So our joints are kind of always wanting to shut off just due to environmental factors, sitting, poor movement, microtraumas, all kinds of stuff, okay? Our joints are very, very neurologically rich, and so when we're able to take them through these great ranges of motion, we're able to get a lot of feedback up to the brain, and that just really helps get things activated and firing the right way. So one of the reasons we do CARS is just to get our joints awake and get them moving in a full range of motion prior to a game or a workout. Another reason that we'll do CARS, we'll do them just to continually monitor and assess where our mobility is. So, throughout a season, like baseball, throughout a season, a repetitive motion, over and over and over, the joint capsules can start to kind of shut down. So this is a way to continually just assess, where you are on a mobility scale, okay? Those are really two of the main reasons that we like to do CARS. And it's also the foundation for improving your mobility. So I guess that would be your third reason, is to know where you are and how to take that next level with your mobility. A couple precautions before you embark on this CARS journey, okay? One is if you have had any type of joint replacement, you need to talk to your PT, healthcare provider, doctor, or whomever about that to make sure that you can go through these full ranges of motion before you do those, okay? That's really important, all right? The second thing is if you have closing angle pain on any of these moves, you need to bypass that, and we'll dive into that on the videos. But closing angle pain is going to be like, if I'm working my glenohumeral joint here, as this closes, if I have pain here, you have to bypass that. Do not push through it. You've got to shorten the range of motion up and bypass that. If you have closing angle pain, if you are not a client here, I highly recommend you try to seek out an FR provider, so somebody who is a healthcare provider certified in the functional range conditioning system. Most of the FR providers will be healthcare providers, or speak to your doctor, PT, healthcare provider on that and what to do. If you're an ELP client or athlete, if you have closing angle pain, you need to let us know and we will help direct you accordingly, okay? Now, how to implement CARS, okay? So, a couple different things that you need to consider when you're doing the CARS. To the untrained eye, or to somebody who has not been through the certification course and is just kind of throwing these in here or watching you, they're not really gonna understand what you're doing, okay? Because they don't know the science behind it. And the science behind it is kind of where the magic happens. So a couple things that you have to do while you're doing the CARS. One, make sure that you irradiate, all right? Meaning that we have to have some tension involved in the joint. I'm sure at some point you've done like shoulder circles or something, and without getting too technical, it's really not doing a whole lot. You've got to have a little bit of tension in the joint for things to happen kind of on that cellular level, okay? So when we mean tension, like if I said 100% tension, that'd be like flexing 100%. We don't want that, all right? I only want you at about 20, 30%, just kind of something light, but where it's engaged so you can feel it. It's kind of that mind-muscle connection, but this is mind-joint connection, okay? Feel the joint move. It sounds simple, but it's really important. It's often overlooked, okay? Level 1 cars are about 20 to 30%-ish. That's what we like to cue, just a little tension. Don't go any, higher tension on that. That's for, a different day and another level 2, 3, cars, etc. All right? 20, 30% should just feel it. You can pretend there's something, kind of resting up against you, the air's pushing down on you, whatever, all right? Don't add weight to these. You don't need any weight, okay? So you've got tension, all right, or radiation. And also just kind of keep the rest of the body engaged. Don't forget that. And the other one is you want to go through the greatest range of motion you can without that closing ankle pain. Remember that. And you also want to go through the greatest range of motion possible without compensation. So again, glenohumeral joint. If I'm coming for the shoulder flexion, I'm working this glenohumeral joint, and I see, like, let's say the rib cage flare, where I see that as I start to rotate back like that, my torso rotates with me. That's compensation. I don't want that, all right? Now, technically, you get into that a little bit later on, but I like to coach level 1 or basics and our foundation. If we're going to do it, might as well go ahead and do it perfectly. Keep it controlled and go through within the range of motion you have so you're ingraining these good patterns, okay? Do not allow things to compensate. Joints have to work independently before they can work dependently with the rest of the body, okay? So, to kind of summarize what CARS is all about and why we're doing this. We're here to do CARS to wake our joints up in preparation for our workout or our game. They are not going to change your mobility. That's not the goal of CARS right now. The goal of them is just to keep the mobility you have and to wake your joints up. If you have closing angle pain, all right, avoid that. Talk to a healthcare provider about it. If you have a joint replacement, talk to your healthcare provider before you start them. The other one is keep some irradiation or just a light little tension in it. And